guys. I hope you are doing so good so far. It's week 2 digital learning. Yesterday I had a doctor's appointment, so I was out for a sick day. But today we're hopping in and getting the ground running. Hopefully those of you saw I've updated all grades except for some cyber safety posters and then our wanted posters from this week. But if you haven't turned anything in, if you have extra time, work on those. Please, 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 I want you to get them turned in. So real quick, I thought I would go over the notes with you this time because I had some people still email me last week about the natural resource notes. So I'm just going to go over what we're going to learn about today. So we are going to learn about wildlife and their habitat, which essentially is an aspect of natural resources, right? Wildlife is a natural resource. This video is probably going to run out because they go in 5-minute increments. So this is video number 1. You can find video number 2. And if I go to, I'm not sure, depending on how much I talk, video number 3 on this as well. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about wildlife and their habitat. What wildlife need and why. So what is wildlife? You may know this. It includes all non-domesticated plants, animals, bird, fish, and other organisms. Yes, plants too. Non-domesticated means they are not tame. They're not approachable. They're not domesticated. What is a habitat? You might have heard this. Habitat are things that we need to survive, right? You and I have habitat, things that we need. So a habitat for wildlife is a natural home or environment of an animal, plant, or other organism. It includes the shelter they need, the cover, the food, water, and space. All of those elements have to be in a favorable balance for that organism to survive. And if one of them is taken away, it may not survive. Just like us, if one of our essential things of our habitat goes away, we won't survive. Okay, when I say favorable balance, what I mean is that the elements are available in adequate amounts. They are high enough quality to meet the needs of animals, and they're distributed where animals need them and can access them. It does us no good, or animals no good, if we can't get those resources. Wildlife, why do they need cover? The first aspect, obviously, is a place to hide. Hide from predators or from humans or anything like that. For nesting. A safe place to rest or sleep, for a feeding area, for a breeding area, or as a travel route. They might have to travel to other elements of the habitat, for example, to get to their food or get to their water, and they might need that area. So cover is the first one. How can we, as humans, help provide cover? We can grow vegetation. So if you plant trees and shrubs in a variety of sizes and species, that helps provide vegetation for the animals. Or if you provide vegetative travel lanes between types of covers, so sometimes you'll see that in between trees and things. You can provide structures. Some of you may have done this before, like birdhouses, obviously, but nest boxes, duck boxes, those different things for those wildlife. Different wildlife have different needs, and we need to learn what they need and what they are, so that we don't remove those from their necessities. What a bear needs is different from what a deer needs, and so on. They all need different needs. Should we provide food for wildlife? It can be harmful if not done properly. Sometimes you might see signs that say don't feed the wildlife. Also with animals, especially deer, they may become too dependent on you providing it. And so if they move away from that area or it stops coming in, they will not survive. It may encourage overpopulation, which is not a good thing, right? We have to keep things balanced, not too many. Alternatives to feeding, we need to encourage growth of natural sources of food, like you plant trees and crops that provide both food and shelter for those animals. Do wildlife need space? Aspect number 2. Species of wildlife vary widely in the amount of space they need to live. The range of a rabbit is much different than that of a black bear or a gray fox. The abundance of the other 3 elements may also impact the amount of space needed by each animal. The more concentrated the food, the water, and the area all that may cover, the less total space the animal may need. So life is a highway. Okay, so there's this term. You can't see it because I have this picture right here covering up. I'm sorry, but fragmentation is caused when we interrupt large areas of habitat. So like if we put in developments of roads and agriculture, we take away those habitats, it can lead to less food and cover for animal. Because dangerous circumstances for animals like road and things, they disrupt that food chain. We're going to talk a lot about balance in that food chain, food web, that all has to be balanced, and wildlife are an essential part of that. And if they're taken out or they're disrupted, that kind of messes things up. Corridors, it's just like you walk through corridors. It's the same thing for wildlife. They can also impact habitat stability, so areas that secure cover for them and help them from getting from one part of their habitat to another without them